Now to Florida, where another video of Casey Anthony surfaced last night on the internet. This is the second video diary discovered this week of Anthony, who has been in hiding since the summer after she was acquitted of killing her 2-year-old daughter, Kaylee. Anthony's lawyers say she's been hacked and are now concerned about her safety. We get details from NBC's Kerry Sanders.
And I'm just starting to figure out my new computer.
The Casey Anthony video diary was examined Thursday by Florida state officials.
And now I in some ways have someone to talk to even when I'm by myself, so I'm not bothering the poor dog. Because I've adopted, and I love.
In the diary, Casey talks about herself more than 40 times.
It's kind of nice finally being able to say that I have some belongings that are mine that I'll be able to take with me. It's obviously a different ballgame for me because I've never used this before. Don't know whether to look directly at myself or look up or...
She never once mentions her daughter Kaylee. Casey's lawyer, Cheney Mason, says he believes the video was stolen from Casey's hard drive. Casey's parents now fear for their daughter's security.
My clients are just worried for Casey's safety and hope that this video won't cause her any problems because now people know what she looks like again.
Who posted it on YouTube? John David Briley, an Ohio man who hosts a Facebook page titled Boycott Casey Anthony Future Earnings, says he first found the links asking for $3 to $5 to view the video, but then found a link that was free.
Now, she ain't going to make a cent either because it's free for anybody that wants to see it.
Internet experts say it could be a sophisticated hack or, just as likely, simple operator error.
I'm excited that I'll be able to Skype and obviously keep a video log.
For Today, Kerry Sanders, NBC News, Orlando.
Beth Karas is a former prosecutor and True TV correspondent. Dr. Keith Abloh is the author of Inside the Mind of Casey Anthony, a psychological portrait. And good morning to both of you. Thanks for coming on.
Morning.
Beth, first of all, in a probation report, she apparently tells her parole officer that she believes she was hacked. That in itself, I guess, would be a crime if someone hacks your computer. But is there any reason she would want this video out there?
Well, she may be testing the waters to see if she is a little more popular today than she was in July when she was acquitted, but it doesn't seem that she is any more popular. I don't know that this is truly a case of hacking. It may be, but when you listen to it, it's 4 minutes, 20 seconds. The audio is muted in 3 parts where she refers to names or the people she's staying with. So somebody is protecting her location, the identity of who she's staying with, information that could lead someone to where she is.
And then, Keith, we saw the first video, now the new one where she's showing off her piercings, a different look. What do you see when you look at these tapes?
Well, I see the same psychological profile that I developed for the book, which is this is a woman who lives through social media. She has little, it seems, as an internal self, real emotions. And so the tools of her trade have to be to broadcast a false self. What does she say she cares about now? Her phone, a camera, the computer. Because now she can reach out in the same way she always reached out, Lester, which was with a false self from behind armor. And to say that she can take these things with her, I'm so glad I own something. Well, it is the case that in the family in which she was raised, she was allowed to own nothing, not even herself, not her emotions, not who watched her giving birth.
Well, again, you know, this is a video diary, so purportedly this is for her own use. But if she thought the public was going to see it, wouldn't she also know what the public really wants to hear? We want to hear a sense of sadness about her daughter.
Well, sometimes things are what they are. In order to feel terrible grief at a loss, you need to have real emotions upon which to draw. And she's not miscalculating here in terms of the hunger of the American people. After all, this has made national and international news, a little video. And then she talks about piercings. Guess what? People get pierced often when they want to know they're there. They literally want the feeling of something going through flesh. This is a woman floating free of any kind of internal self because her parents cleaved her from that.
Well, let me ask, Beth, you sat in that courtroom for weeks and weeks, and you saw her behavior. Do you recognize this person? Is this consistent with the Casey Anthony that you watched?
Well, I think she was a little actress in the courtroom. She was putting on that little, church mom kind of demeanor, and I think this is more the Casey that we got to know through the jail tapes and through testimony. But I also want to add regarding her not talking about Kaylee on these videos. She's been fighting tooth and nail not to be deposed in the civil case. If she starts talking about this, she may open that door, and there may be an argument that she's waived her Fifth Amendment rights. So she's going to stay away from that stuff in these videos that are being released to the public, assuming she knows these are being released.
Yeah, I mean, in one case, it's obviously someone else is operating the camera. You see the camera moving at some point. Why else would she do this, though? I mean, is there some, Dr. Ablow, is there some therapeutic value I think there's doing a video diary in general when you've been through what she's been through?
If you weren't Casey Anthony, there might be. But this is for broadcast. This is the antithesis of what someone would recommend that she do. You'd ask her to reflect, to sit with those feelings, Lester, that you're referring to. Find the grief. Find the anger at your own annihilation as a child in that home at Hope Spring Drive where she was, in fact, psychologically suffocated. Sit with that. Don't go to the public and try to make a few dollars in a pay-per-view with 1 million people watching, because I think that's what this is.
And Beth, exactly what is her status now? We know she's on parole. Does she have to be in a probation. Does she have to be in a specific location?
No, she has to be in the state of Florida, and they need to know where she is.
So her parole officer obviously knows where she is.
Probation. And parole is when you've been in prison and you're out. But as long as they know where she is and she's in regular contact, that she doesn't have to stay in the same place. But she has to stay in the state of Florida unless she gets permission to leave. And she could get early release from probation. Some people do not have to do their full term. Hers is only a year. I suspect she'll do the year. You can get early release if you're a good probationer.
We know she has been threatened, and there was concern raised that if someone had hacked her computer, they would get an IP address. It would be possible to trace her, right?
Yeah, they could possibly trace her, yes.
And that's a concern. All right, Dr. Keith Ablow, good to have you here. Beth Karas, nice to have you back as well.